statement.
Okay, I'm very pleased. I really loved our defensive effort tonight. For 36 minutes, I thought we were a tremendous defensive team. You know, things got away. We got a really big lead, and things got away from us the last 4 minutes. But a lot of different things happen during the course of a season. You have to play through those things, and you learn from your mistakes. We had some guys in positions that they normally aren't in, and I let them play through it. I thought we got through it and did a pretty good job. We executed our press breaker and did some good things down the stretch. They made some bombs and some shots that when you're down 20, you throw up there, and they went in. So, very, very pleased with the action of tonight. I'm very pleased with everything that happened. There's nothing I'm not happy with.
Questions for the student athletes, please?
Martez, obviously this early part of the season have been a lot of lopsided games. You guys had the loss to Nevada, but you have some very important games coming up, notably Michigan State and Georgia after Robert Morris and Northeastern. What do you guys gain from these early season games where maybe they're lopsided scores? Do you guys gain a lot from that, or do you kind of gauge yourself when you get to a Michigan State type of team?
We just gotta be all on the same page. Coach always preach on us and just do your role. I was telling them before, everybody's got to perfect their role and just be a family, and we'll be all right.
You want to go ahead and answer that too? I mean, what do you guys think? What do you guys get from these early season games, even if they're lopsided scores? Is it just practice? I mean,
Well, we're still gaining experience. This is a new team without a key player from last year, so we're still gaining experience. We're still learning each other throughout the course of every game. So every game we're getting better, and we're focusing on detail a little bit more every game.
is it hard not to look when you got a Michigan State and a Georgia back to back? Is it kind of hard not to look ahead, or do you guys really have to just stay focused on the daily tasks?
No, it's not hard at all to not look ahead. We focus on every game. Like it's our last game, and we want to win every game that we come into. So we know on our radar they're coming up, but we're still focused on every game that comes up.
Really, we focus on us. It's a matter of here. Like I said, little small details we do in our sets and our defensive stuff. We just got to come together.
Martez, Coach said that he was happy for the first 36 minutes defensively. What happened in the last 4 minutes?
We just had some young guys out there that's still learning, and like they part of the team too. Nobody's different from one of another on the team, and they got to experience it too, because there'd be games and days that I'm in foul trouble or Jalen, and somebody got to come in and replace them. So everybody just got to be ready.
Martez, last game for you was not exactly your favorite. You could tell you were just fighting yourself. How good did it feel today when you got the first couple to fall that went in, when you kind of get that off your back and start fresh?
Yeah, it's gonna be games like that. Like Coach told me, they gonna come after me because they know who I am. So, like I said, I just gotta put that past me. And like I said, it was the last game, and we just had to focus on what happened tonight.
We talked about it that day too. That this team has so many scoring options that other people can pick up the slack. And is that maybe the biggest strength of this team?
Yes, because like last year, K had the ball 99% of the time. So, this year the ball just gonna move around regardless, and it's no knock to him. We just moving the ball, and it's gonna go from there.
Any more questions for the student athletes?
You guys obviously are very proud to have your record that you have. And is this kind of what you were thinking when you looked at your opponents? Hey, we could be 7-1, 8-1, 7-2. I mean, is this kind of where you guys figured you'd be, or is it's always nice to be 8-1, obviously?
We weren't sure before the season started, going into it, how good each team was, until we did the scout, until we got to know our opponents better. We're satisfied with the record, and we're going to keep it going from there.
Same what he said. I really want to be undefeated right now. We let one slip, but it's a learning process for us. So we just take that game and just learn from it and just keep building on what we got to do.
All right. Thanks, guys. Questions for Coach?
Coach, Martez mentioned that the ball's getting passed around a lot this year, more than last year. Do you see any disadvantages in that, perhaps steals or opportunities presented for the other team, or is it totally beneficial?
I don't look at national statistics, but tonight we had 24 assists and 31 baskets. And going into the game, I think we had 165 around their assists on 210 baskets. I would say that's probably first in the country on an assist to basket ratio. So that's who this team is. You know, the 3 years before that, the guy, you know, Felder would have 11 assists and we would have 15. But that's how we played. That's every team. To be successful as a coach, you look at how you should play with that team. And you know, you got a kid that is, you know, maybe the best player in school history. He's been playing in the NBA, so obviously he was a great player. We tried to take advantage of that. This team is more versatile. We've got a lot of different players that can score. We've got 11 guys we run in and out. We've got different ball handlers. We've got different sets we run. We can interchange, like we can run the same set to Sharon and we take him out, put Martez in it. So there's a lot, and I'm still learning with this team. I think we're a little bit challenged offensively right now. I think we're showing pretty much, and Joanne asked me this at halftime, a struggle to start games. You know, we're all kind of like trying to find out who's on tonight. But we've been consistent on defense. And so when we've struggled offensively, we've been able to stay in games. And then eventually we find who to go to, and eventually we start flowing. And every game we've played, you know, we've had a 13-point lead or higher in every game we've played this year. That's 9 games now. That's saying something. And you could say, well, this team's not very good, but you know, historically Bowling Green's really good in basketball. Historically, Western Michigan's very good in basketball. Historically, Nevada, Cal Davis. I mean, we've played good names. And maybe, you know, Oral Roberts obviously wasn't your father's Oral Roberts, you know, the other night, but still that's a good name. And we just got to play who shows up. And the thing that we're doing is maybe we're making them look maybe not as good as they are either because of our defense. So this idea that the ball gets moved around and we get a lot of assists, that's just who this team is. And I think you'll see that all year.
Greg, what message are you giving to the team before the game to maybe overcome some of the challenges to start the game offensively?
I'm not going there with them because I don't want to put those kind of thoughts in their mind. We're prepping, we're playing. The message that we have is that it's a 40-minute game and we're playing 11 guys. And I think everybody you've seen has worn out in those games. Now tonight, the last 4 minutes didn't go very well, but you know, sometimes things are going to happen. You know, they threw some shots in that gave them some juice. We had 20-some point lead. There was nothing to panic about. We made free throws. We executed. You know, I don't think the turnover that Nick had at the end that turned into a jump ball. I think he was fouled. My personal opinion. Obviously, the official didn't. I thought they were trying to foul him on purpose. But other than that play, I think we handled everything, and they just threw some stuff in. You know, and during the course of 35, 40 games, that's going to happen. We handled it well, took the win. You don't get any bonus points for winning by 24 over 10. I mean, you take the win and move on, and that's what we did. I'm very pleased.
You mentioned, obviously, you play who's on your schedule, and some of these teams are better or worse over the years. Did you kind of look at that Michigan State game to say, okay, we're going to have these games before that, but once we get to Michigan State, we maybe see who we really are in terms of being able to compete on that high of a level? Was that sort of the mentality even coming into this season that, hey, we know Michigan State, Georgia, Wright State, that's going to be a very tough stretch? Were you guys kind of prepping for that stretch?
We play Michigan State on the 21st, and we play Georgia on the 23rd. And the reason we play them on those dates is because that's when they said they wanted to play. I had nothing to do with it other than, okay, we'll play you that day. We got Georgia coming here. We're going to let them pick when they play us. And the Michigan State game, and I mean, we're playing Northeastern on the day before the Michigan State game. It would look like I'm not very smart in scheduling, and I'm not. But we wanted a home game. We wanted to challenge ourselves. We get to play 3 and 4 days like the conference tournament. And those 3 teams will be better than the 3 teams we play in our conference tournament. Right? Northeastern will be better than who we play on the first day of our conference tournament, probably. If we're as good as we think we are, we're gonna be playing a lower seed in the tournament. If we finish third, we're gonna play the sixth. If we finish second, so if we do, Northeastern will be better than that team. Michigan State will be better than anybody we play in the semifinals. Georgia will be either as good or equal. Valpo might be as good as Georgia if we were to play Valpo in the final. But everybody else, Georgia. So once they said that's when they wanted to play us, now I looked at it, okay, what can this do for us? But to be honest with you, I don't give a crap about Michigan State right now. I care about Robert Morris. And then I care about Northeastern. Then that game with Northeastern ends, then I'm really, really going to care about Michigan State. But right now, I care about getting to 9-1. And how are we going to do that?
Right, you're not gonna not take an 8-1 record. I mean, do you guys feel like, with that Nevada loss being so close, I mean, do you guys feel like you are what you thought you were gonna be? Or again, you're gonna have some bigger tests coming up?
Well, obviously, we've got, none of it matters. I mean, we're 0-0 on December 29th when we start the league play, and this is just getting us ready for the league. Now, we have high aspirations, so we want to be 12-1 or 13-0 or 11-2, whatever that is. We want that because we have high aspirations. If we're good enough to get to postseason, we want to be seeded and we want a chance to win postseason games. So they matter for that. But the reality of it is, we got to get ready for the 29th of December, and a game today really helped us do that. You know, this is a team that we'll see some league teams that are similar to them, and how we played today and what we did will help us get better. Those games on a national level in the old days, yeah, you would look at that, how are we? But see, we have a high opinion of ourselves. We think we're as good as anybody in the country. Last year we played the #1 team in the country, led by 13 at halftime, lost in overtime. We went to a Pac-10 school and beat them by 20 points, at a 22-point lead at halftime. We've played enough of those games to know where we can compete in that atmosphere. We've also could get beat. We could go to Kentucky and get beat by 25, but you know what? I can't remember who it was, but I think it was Arizona State, who's in the Pac-12, lost by 40 to Kentucky. I mean, we could do that. You know, I mean, we believe in ourselves. So these games in the old days, what you're saying is true, but I don't look like that anymore. I believe in our program. I think we can compete, and we're as good as anybody. And that's how we take the floor. That was a long answer.